Hey, what's going on? This is Live with Sports Vibes. I'm your host, Quis, joined as always by my co-host, Inf. Inf, bro, how's everything with you?
Good. It's been a good couple of weeks.
Yeah. I was kind of nervous. I was like, dang, do I go on live and jinx it? Because since the last time we spoke, the Knicks have been streaking, bro.
Yeah, it's literally crazy. Like right after our last call, that's when the streak began.
Right? So then I'm like, dang, it's like double dutch. When do I jump in and start the stream again? But I mean, I'm just so happy. I'm so excited. The Knicks look phenomenal. Julius Randle is making an argument for two trophies right now, most improved and most valuable. I think we literally were just talking about it before we decided to come and go live. But if you look at the box score from tonight's game, I mean, Julius Randle is just doing everything out there. I mean, he didn't have as much assists as he's been having during this streak, but 31 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 17 from the field, and 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. How you feel about
Yeah,
his performance tonight, Inf?
he's showing how crazy he can be when he's hitting a three consistently. Him and RJ. When they're hitting
Facts.
a three consistently, they are deadly players. Like it's crazy. It,
Yeah. They had the report, I think about right before we actually got to today. So what was that, Friday? They said that the Knicks, the young guys, and Julius Randle have been in the gym nonstop working on their 3-point shot, and we're seeing the results. I mean, look at the stats from today. Julius Randle, 5 of 7 from three. R.J. Barrett, 3 of 7 from three. Reggie Bullock, 3 of 7 from three. Even Obi got into it today. He went 3 or 4. You saw Obi doing this thing?
yeah. Little shine on Obi. Little shine on Obi.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing well with the minutes he's getting.
I was just about to say that. He only played 9 minutes, but in those 9 minutes, 3 of 5, 3 or 4 from the 3-point line, 9 points, 2 rebounds. So, and he was plus 10 when he was out there too. So at least even if he's not out there for long periods of time, to be plus 10 in 9 minutes, I think is phenomenal.
No, absolutely. I mean, the Knicks we on the tear right now. Shout out Edwin Burgos, UBG. Yeah, we are the hottest
Yeah.
team in the league right now, like by far. It's not even close. It's not even just we're the hottest team in New York now. We're the hottest team in the league right now. Everyone is taking notice. There's no other team that went on a 9-game win streak this season yet. It's us. We out here. And then they
Fact.
have the nerve to say that we had the hardest schedule after the All-Star break. Not to us. This joint is a cakewalk. This joint a cakewalk right now.
I mean, we out there. I think we're outworking teams out there. I think what's so great about the Knicks, and I think why the city is just embracing them so much, is because one, their defense is A1 right now, and they're making sure you feel them whenever you try to make or get easy shots in the paint. That's one thing we're doing. We're not allowing too many easy buckets, and if you are gonna shoot in the paint, we're gonna make sure as you head up to the other side of the court that you're gonna remember, nothing's easy down there. And then the second
Yep.
thing is when you look at Julius Randle, when you look at RJ Barrett, their play style is very similar to our defensive mindset. They're out there bullying people. So we're beating teams up on both sides of the court or both ends of the court. So I think that's why, New York is really embracing this team in this moment because yes, 9 wins is phenomenal, but during a pandemic, watching this team go out there and just outwork everybody is just something fans can look at and say, all right, our team's doing that for us. What can I do in my personal life and be similar to match that energy? You feel me?
No, that's facts. And one of my favorite things about this streak is that we are closing out games. And then
Fact.
we're winning games that are going into overtime. Remember, the Knicks, we would lose
Three.
any overtime. Once it's overtime, we know it's an L because we're not going to. We have been not even close games in overtime. No, we destroy teams in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Both overtimes we did, we destroyed them. Pelicans and the Hawks. Like it wasn't even a contest once it got to overtime. I'm like, yo,
Facts.
we are serious because remember, like it just makes me think of the games against the Nets where all of those games could have gone to OT. So now we see like if we can push games to OT, we can do our things in OT. Like I'm happy with what the Knicks is doing right now.
Because imagine if you're going up against us. You just played us for 48 minutes and you couldn't beat us. Now we're going to have to beat you over the head for an additional 5 minutes in overtime. We're literally breaking teams' will out there. And as a Knicks fan, that's phenomenal. Because remember, we are used to like teams trying to come in here and disrespect us. So for us now to hold down home court and break teams' will here in the Garden, I think that's just great to see as a fan, bro. I'm low-key giddy.
No, especially the fact that we're immediately putting pressure on teams now. Like if you watch the games, teams are desperate to beat us to end our streak. Like they come in with so much pressure on them. Us, we're just we're vibing, we're doing our thing. But then they come like watch the Suns. They kind of come in here desperate to try to end our streak, and the pressure's on them because us, we're just balling. We're doing our thing. We're at home. Yeah. Who would have thought if you would have said in the beginning of the season, Knicks are gonna win 9 straight games? I would have been like, "There's no way." Not with our roster. There's no way.
I came in thinking it was going to be a developmental year. You know, I was thinking close to 500 would have been great for me, but to exceed expectations like this, like I'm saying right now, you know, the second round is going from a possibility to a probability to me. You know, right now I'm saying line up whoever you want to line up in the first round. We'll knock them down, and then we'll see what we can do in the second round. Because with this level of play, with the team vibing, with the chemistry we're building, I just see this momentum continuing to propel us into the playoffs. We got a tough matchup though against the Suns. That's right around the corner. That's on Monday.
Nah, I mean, as for the playoffs, I'm hoping we get the Hawks in the first round. I feel like the Hawks is a team that we could easily beat. But no, we do have a tough game going against Phoenix. They are one of the top 3 teams in the West, if I'm not mistaken. Which I mean, I'm not surprised because Chris Paul is literally the greatest point guard. The second team.
Second.
In the West. I mean, but still, they got their work.
Yeah, just want to say shout out to the chat. I was over here getting emotional. Shout out Joshua Rivera, Young King Frey. Salute to Foxy. You could check Foxy out. I think Foxy appears on Knicks Weekly with Legion of Knicks. So you could go check them out on that channel. Subscribe to them. UBG, Suns about to be added to the list. Facts. I got tickets to the game, but with the way the process goes, I have to do the test. And once everything clears, then I'll be going. But hopefully we can extend it. Foxy said he misses the shades. I'll bring him back. One thing I want to say about Julius Randle, if you're noticing, Julius Randle is accepting every challenge at the 4. You know, throughout this whole streak, he's gone up against Zion, he's gone up against KP, he's gone up against Siakam twice, and you can see it out there. He's letting people know he's if not the best, he's one of the best power forwards in the league right now. And I like how petty MSG was. Like towards the end, I think it was the end of the first half, you could see Julius Randle dropping an expletive saying that somebody can't mess with him. And he was, you know, directing that toward Pascal Siakam. So Siakam, you know, if you didn't see that part, just, you know, rewatch the tape. You'll see it.
Nah, Siakam, anytime he go against Randle, he be looking lost. He don't know what to do. He don't know what to do.
And for us to beat the Raptors twice in this stretch too, because the last time they didn't have who was out? I think who was out in that game? Was it OG? But this is the second time we beat them in the streak, and I think OG Anunoby was out in the first game, and for him to come back and for us to win by an even larger margin.
Yeah,
like we don't care who you add to your roster.
Yeah, I mean OG did his thing at 27, but yeah, mind you, I was watching like by the half of the third quarter. I see like we're down by 2. I'm like, all right, it's probably gonna be a close game. Nope. It was the
second unit ran them off the court.
It was when I saw the final score, I'm just like, yeah, that's insane. Like that's insane.
Derrick Rose is a gem, bro. Derrick Rose been a gem since he been here. Let's run through his numbers real quick.
that he is, during this whole streak, he has been a huge key piece. And
Yeah,
mind that was a trade that not many people was happy with. I know we weren't. We was confused by it.
yeah. I can't even front. I was about to say that too. We both were like, why are we going after an aging Derrick Rose? He's not really in the same level of his career.
Yeah, we was like, why are we going for a point guard who can't shoot? And lo and behold, this is why, because he still got it, man. He's still nice.
Facts, he still got it. Just going by his numbers, he played 33 minutes. That's something I want to monitor. We don't want him playing too many minutes, knowing his history. But 7 to 10 from the field, 0-1 from 3, 5 or 6 from the free throw line for 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. He was plus 26 out there. So, Derrick Rose has been a godsend. He's been doing this thing for us. I think the thing I really like about Derrick Rose is he's that bucket getter for us when things kind of go south. Like when nobody really knows what to do next, you get the ball to Derrick Rose and you say, hey, bro, get us a bucket and let's move to the next possession.
Yeah, like what game was it where he just basically scored like 6 straight points when we was at a drought to basically push us for OT? It was against the Hawks, right? Or was it the Palace? So. Yeah, like it's just like when we need an easy bucket and Randall is,
drawing the double.
Yeah. Rose is that guy, son.
Oh, yeah. Also, I say it again, Inf?
No, I was just like, we really got a squad. Like, we really have a squad.
Yeah, we got a deep team. I kind of did the numbers too for Derrick Rose's numbers over the 8 games leading into today's game. He's been he's averaging 16.3 points per game, 3.6 assists per game. He's shooting 51.9% from the field, and he's shooting 38% from 3, and doing all of this in 26.5 minutes per game. So exactly what you said. He's been out there holding it down for us during this win streak.
Hustling. And also, I mean, the chat is mentioning him. A big part of our win streak too has also been Nerlens Noel. Like,
facts.
It won't really always show on the box score, but his blocks is crazy, and he impacts the defense. Like, offenses can't score. Like, it's I'm just saying we do not miss who is not on our team right now. Like, we don't miss nobody. We got Nerlens. He's doing his thing. We probably wouldn't be on this crazy win streak if.
Here we go.
I'm just saying. I can't confidently say that Robinson would have been doing the same things that Noel has been doing for us. Noel he's hustling. Like, he is hustling. And what I love about it, he's not getting stupid fouls. He is hustling, getting blocks, and not getting in crazy foul trouble.
I mean, Mitch has worked on that this season. And also, just to defend Mitch a little bit, when we put Taj in, we really aren't missing too much of a beat, too. We're not getting the blocks, but Taj is still a stout defender holding down the paint for us. And the same thing with Peele. Peele had to step in for Taj after he cut his eye, and Peele looked serviceable as well. So I think we would still be playing pretty good with Mitch. But like, to your point, Noel has been great. He's been averaging 2.9 blocks per game leading into today's game. So his production defensively has been phenomenal, and also his shooting percentage leading into today's game, he was shooting 71%. So even killing.
That's crazy. Hey, shout out Impala 7. He was like, just join, but who Inf want to trade?
What he said? What he said?
He said, just join, but who Inf want to trade?
If said Mitch is expendable.
I mean, you know what? There shouldn't be a Knicks fan who can watch what we've been doing and not agree that Mitch is expendable at this point. Like, he is. We're on a 9-game win streak. And remember, earlier in the season, the same exact thing happened. He got injured, and we started killing. I'm just saying. Noel's doing his thing. I mean, you know what? We have a lot of decent pieces on really good contracts. Like, we got lucky this season. We're paying Noel basically nothing to be a starter for our team. Derrick Rose ain't making that much. Yeah,
I think
we
Rose
do
making like
nothing.
15.
Oh, that actually is a.
It's either 12 or 15, somewhere in that ballpark.
He's playing worth that money.
Yeah, the
And
thing
thank
is,
you, praise. Send Mitch away. He gets injured every game. He do. He's too awkward. Watch, he's
the
gonna get to
thing,
a point where he gets injured, and then his value is gonna be that of like a second round pick, and then we just
I
gonna
mean,
be
he's injured
tanking.
as we speak.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
with
is
a
not.
injury you got to be careful with too. That Jones fracture. They
Yeah,
still haven't specified if it's a Jones fracture or not, but based on
probably not gonna.
what I've read, it seems like a Jones fracture.
I mean, fingers
I mean,
crossed. We get a shot in the off season.
the thing is with Noel though, we got to temper expectations too, because there's no guarantee we'll be able to resign Nerlens Noel to anything reasonable. The way he's performing right now, and the fact that he missed out on his bag because of his agent previously, if he's going to
Yeah.
be brought back as a starter, I'm expecting he's going to want a decent raise, and then if Noel now supplants Mitch coming back, then we're gonna have trouble. But positive vibes. We winning. We on a 9-game win streak. We'll cross that bridge when we get there after our eventual second or third round exit.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, listen, I ain't even gonna say the Knicks. We're underdogs right now, but we are the team that nobody wants to go against us in a playoff series, just because
Facts.
we're unpredictable. You really don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, you know what's going to happen. You don't know what the outcome is because you got to play to win the game. You got to play the game out to see what happens. But they know what to expect. They're gonna get beat up, and we're gonna turn it into a dogfight. And what I like too is we even beat the Hawks. We're beating teams at their game. We beat the Hawks at their game in a shootout.
Yeah, that was surprising.
So we can win dogfights.
Granted, like Trae Young did get hurt or whatever, but even when he was in the game, we was still right there, neck and neck, competing with them. So
yeah, I think the half was like what 69-64. We were still, shooting lights out.
Yeah, so we doing our thing. Another honorable mention during this streak, Reggie Bullock. Like I feel like he probably heard all the nonsense we was talking about him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna shut these dudes up," because knocking down threes consistently each game. I'm like, "Yo, he wants to spot in the Knicks. Legitimately, he got it. I'm gonna shut up about Reggie Bullock. He's been doing his thing. He's been a key piece in our win streak."
What I like about Bullock is he's starting the games off hot too. It's like every first quarter you can expect 2 or 3 threes from Reggie. He might taper off as the game goes on, but at least he's getting us off on the right foot. His stats tonight: 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was +1 out there, but his defense, I mean, he was the one responsible for OG, and OG went off. But he worked hard. I mean, he's trying out there. One thing we can't say about this team is they got a lack of effort.
No, yeah, everybody's going out there and playing as hard as they can, except Knox. Joshua Rivera is still trying to basically talk up Mitch, saying like Mitch is a lob threat and Noel is a turnover threat. Well, let's not forget all of Mitch's nonsense turnovers too, all his terrible fouls.
He's worked on that this season, though. Hasn't been as bad.
Nah. He's gotten better, but it's still rough. It's still rough.
I mean, hey, players make dumb fouls at times. Derrick Rose had a couple dumb ones earlier today. I thought we were gonna have a long game because I think Derrick Rose racked up 2. RJ racked up a few quick fouls as well. I'm like, dang, what's going on here? I was hoping we could come on and be hype and celebrate instead of we're coming on and discussing the end of the streak. But luckily for us.
Now, what was dope is that at first at halftime, I'm like, yo, RJ, like, what are you doing? You only got 5 points. In the second half, he dropped 20. Like, yo, he knows how to turn it
RJ
on,
is
son.
turning into a shooter.
A legitimate shooter. Like,
We got to chill with the Maple Mamba, bro.
come on, son. That's Maple Mama, son. Come on. If he's knocking down shots and closing out,
Calmate.
that's Maple Mamba, son.
He doing his thing though. He a sharpshooter. I don't know about Maple Bomber, but he doing his thing. He went 3 of 7 from the 3-point line today. And that's a major improvement we've seen from him this year. I think he's answering one of the biggest question marks that we wanted answered this season. That would be his shooting ability, both from the free throw line and from three. And just looking at the stats alone, he answered both of them. 6 of 7 from free throw, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line. And also he's making smart decisions. 8 of 16, 50% from the field. Also, he had a nice pass to Reggie on the fast break after Nerlens Noel got that block, 1 of the 2 in the third quarter. So he's also finding his teammates, and he had 12 rebounds. You know, RJ's already a big guard, so to see him using, you know, his God-given size to grab rebounds and be consistent in that department is something that's really encouraging too. We're literally we're allowed to sit here and see RJ both develop and kind of become a legitimate threat in the league right now. I think it's beautiful to see.
No, absolutely. Salute Delano Steele was good.
Hey, Delano was good.
It's crazy to think that we basically have 2 players on our team who can argue for most improved player of the league. Like, both RJ and
2 trophies
can be improved player, because comparing this season to last season for both of them, their numbers are drastic. Like, it's crazy. And RJ is showing why he was the number 3 overall pick. Finally, he's showing some results. And
here you go.
don't even act like last season we weren't all nervous. We weren't all like, oh man, like, I don't know if he's going to develop a shot. Like, he's easy to defend and all that. This season, like, nah, he got stronger. I'm confident in this pick now. Yeah,
we're legitimately building a core. Like, I saw somebody on Twitter calling Julius Randle, RJ, IQ, and who was the 4th one? Was it Obi as our core 4 moving forward? No, I think it was Mitch as our core. Oh, you wouldn't like that because you don't like Mitch. They were kind of liking it to the Yankees and their core 4.
Because it doesn't make sense to add Mitch into our core 4. Like, Mitch has not been a part of any of our streaks this season. Any of our crazy, like, he hasn't been a part of it. He's just been chilling on the bench. Because remember, like I said, this happened earlier in the season when I said it broke his hand. Won like 4 or 5 games, and I'm just like, oh, we don't miss it. We aren't missing Mitch. Like, we killing. And look at us now, another 9-game win streak without Mitch.
Right. I mean, another one. He said like we had another, like we had a one previous. Shout out to Robert Parr. Thank you for pulling up. Appreciate you for joining the live stream. Right now, we're discussing Mitch, and we're also discussing RJ and his growth. It's just, I don't know. People were talking about, you know, would you still take Ja or Zion over RJ? And as RJ continues to blossom, I think he has a legitimate shot at being the best of that draft class. Because Zion, you know, there's all kinds of issues with his body size and injury history. And then Ja, he's gotten injured as well, but he's looking good with the Grizzlies, trying to propel them into the playoffs. But I mean, if RJ can, you know, develop into that, you know, I don't want to say B, but 1A, I mean 1B, as opposed to just being a B option, I think RJ could be best out that draft class.
That's a fair assessment. For me, I mean, it's hard to answer questions like that just because, in my opinion, I feel like we've built our team around our top pick better than the other ones. I feel like we built around RJ better than Grizzlies built around Ja and better than the Pels built around Zion. So I feel like
I don't know. The Pels got more talent than us. We just
they
work
have more
harder than
talent.
them.
They have more talent, but they didn't build that talent around Zion. Like that team is not built to make him flourish. They just have a bunch of pieces that are all talented. Whereas we literally, our squad is built around RJ flourishing. So because we invested that, like he looks a lot better than they do right now. Like
I don't know if I would say he looks a lot better. Zion out there dropping 30.
Quiet 30 though. Like you'll see him like taking a couple like shots and stuff, and then out of nowhere he just has 30 points at the end of the game with an owl though.
Yeah.
I'm just
what you call it?
with
Carl
an
Jean Petite Day says, "Sorry, I'm late, fellas. Yo, Inf, you hate on Mitch." He was doing this thing before the injury.
How long ago was that? Was that before the 9-game win streak without him? Because I think it was.
Oh man. So you think we'll end up re-signing Mitch? Because Mitch we can re-sign him to an extension this offseason, but you think we'll just have him play out? I think he's set to make either 1.5 or 1.8 mil.
I mean, unless we do like a sign and trade, that way we could get signed for him. And
well, no, he's not. We still got him next season. Period. But you wouldn't extend him?
I mean, it depends. Honestly, it really depends. If he can stay healthy, then yeah, just to potentially trade him. But if this injury thing is like a continued thing, then no, I'm not gonna extend him.
So based off this win streak, would you bring back Bullock and would you bring back Burks? I mean, Burks has been out for about 4 or 5 games, so he's missed a portion of it, but he was there at the start.
That's hard. That's hard. I mean, because I'm not. I don't know. It's hard because you want to support the players who like gave all this effort and are part of the win streak. Like Bullock has been doing his thing, but I don't know that I would like after the season give him another contract for legitimate money. If he wants to come back for like vet minimum or like something reasonable, sure, but I'm not gonna.
I don't think he's coming back for vet, man. I mean, I understand you with a reasonable contract, but I don't know if they're going to take pay cuts.
I'm not gonna go ahead and multi-million.
I would definitely discuss potentially re-signing at least Burks. Bullock stresses me out, but as a piece that we don't have to rely on as a starter, I think off the bench, Bullock is solid too. Both of them, I'd have both of them come off the bench, but no, we can't have them in the starting lineup. We definitely have to replace them in the starting lineup and have them come off the bench. 25 minutes like they kind of doing now, but we can definitely upgrade.
Word, or we could just try to trade them both and get a legitimate starting small forward. Like, yeah, I swear the Celtics need to either give up Tatum or give up Brown. So there's no reason for both of them to be on that team in the same position. Give us Brown. Let us get Jaylen Brown.
You for real? You'd make that? But I don't know if Boston would make a deal with us.
Because they wouldn't give up Brown to even deal with us.
Yeah. What you call it? Delano was shouting you out, Inf, because your take on the Pelicans versus the Knicks.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, want to say shout out to Tay Millie, UBG, still in the chat. Definitely, we still need an upgrade at small forward. I was trying to avoid Peyton because Peyton been getting killed on social media, but somehow we had a mention of him in the chat. Word Peyton has to go. I was calculating a lot of the plus minuses, and I saw, the numbers to me were crazy. Let me see what I wrote down. So Elfrid Payton's plus minus during the win streak leading into today's game was -5. Emmanuel Quickly had the highest plus minus. His was plus 87, and then Julius Randle, I believe, came in second. His was 59, and then Rose was third. I had it written down somewhere, but yeah, Rose was third. I think Rose was 51 plus 51. So I was watching. I was like, dang, how are you -5 during an 8-game winning streak where we've had multiple wins of 10 or more points? That's to me that was crazy. I was like, wow. The fans online. I mean, they being disrespectful, which has to chill. But I mean, the sentiment is real.
Nah, and it's crazy. The reason why that plus minus is crazy is because a plus minus is a direct correlation of the defense you play. And people talk about how Eford Payton's a crazy defender. So then why are teams eat scoring when you on the floor? Like, that's crazy. Yet Quickly, who isn't known as a defender, is a positive 87. Like, what?
Yeah, positive 87. I was like, that's crazy.
That's insane. I mean, but you know what? With Payton, his contract is up after this year. He had a no trade clause, so we knew we weren't going to move him at the deadline. But after this year, hopefully there's no re-sign, no bringing him back, no none of that. Let him walk. Let him go somewhere else.
Yeah. He needs a fresh start elsewhere. Definitely. I mean, he had a couple bad turnovers too in that third when the Raptors started to get close. I'm like, yo, Elf, what you doing, bro? You doing too much.
No, he was just
Couple
playing
bad
slot.
Turnovers. Bro, to start that third quarter, we were averaging a turnover a minute up until like 7 minutes left in the third. I'm like, yo, every minute you just go turn the ball over. I'm like, copy. Luckily we got it together, but still, they get me nervous coming in from halftime, coming out of halftime.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm always nervous when Peyton's on the court, honestly, because anything can happen. Even if we up by 30 with 5 minutes to go, I'm nervous unless once Peyton sits. And I also need to shout out Tibbs. The fact that a coach like Tibbs decided to give everyone the day off and didn't let anyone go in the gym. Did you see that report? Where Tibbs had to lock the gym because they wanted to continue to work. I'm like, yeah, that's real. That's how you know that it's serious when Tibbs is saying, no, you guys need a break.
That's how you know these players are invested, both in themselves and also in the team.
What? Like, because even the people who don't play are going hard for practice, like Pinson.
Mm-hmm. And they were also one of the reports as well was that they reached out to Julius Randle to get some guidance. So they disobey their coach, even though they're gonna go and do something productive. And Julius Randle, being the veteran he's becoming, he told them, you guys can go in, but I'm working on my body, trying to stay healthy in this crazy season we're having. So the reports were a lot of players ended up going in, but for the most part, they worked on recovery and maybe got a few shots up here and there.
See, that's dope. That's dope, son. We really got a good squad. Like,
you know what's really dope?
What?
The fact that the Knicks are looking out for their people. We signed Miles Powell to give him a couple $100,000, and then we cut him today, just as a thank you for what he was doing for the Westchester Knicks.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah. They announced it yesterday, and then maybe about an hour or two before we jumped on live, they announced that they were gonna cut him.
That's great. But wait, didn't another team take him?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. The Bucks had originally signed him to a 2-way deal, and then I guess that fell through. So he hasn't been with a team since then, I don't think. And then we brought him in, I guess, yesterday for the 2-way contract, and then we cut him today.
Damn. I mean, that sucks because he's a decent player too. But honestly, I mean, it don't seem like we need anything right now. All we need is to continue to play our players, continue to lock down our rotations, and everybody just stay healthy, and we'll be straight.
Yeah, Fritz Alcindor from Nick of Time, he's the one that had tweeted it out, and I retweeted, so you can check it out on Twitter. Yeah, follow the channel on Twitter at SportsVibes TV. Be greatly appreciated. And bro, I be in here dancing like this, bro. Whatever we get those W's, man. It just I don't know. You just been through so much. Like it's just a release.
No, yeah, like I was. Who was I talking? I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was just like, yo, I haven't felt this good since that since that season where the Knicks won 50 games. Like, remember when we had Jason Kidd and Rasheed Wallace, Marcus Camby and them?
Even then, this feels different for a reason, and I think it feels different because we know there's a long-term future for this team. Yeah, that Knicks team, you knew everybody was past their prime for the most part. We had one shot.
Yeah, like that was it. Like we had Jason Kidd on that squad too. Like, damn, I still think about like what would have happened if what's his name, Hibbert never blocked that Melo dunk. Like, what would have happened? We have gone to the conference finals. Because I remember we swept the Heat in the regular season that year. Like, they could not beat us. We matched up perfectly against them.
Facts. Into the Knicks multiverse, right?
Yeah, right? It just wish I could go back in time and just make that one change. Like, yo, Melo, he's going to try to block. He's going to block you. Take a shot instead. But
yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, this feels more. Yeah, like this feels more legitimate. Like we can repeat this next year. Type,
Yep, we could run this back. I mean, I'm not saying run it back with the same players, but at least we have a foundation. We have a culture to build upon. Back then, it was like we brought in a bunch of aged veterans and said, "Hey, let's see if this sticks."
Yeah, it's like that's what we did every year. Like we just signed mad randoms and just hoped. Like we signed mad nonsense, and every Knicks fan be like, yeah, we got a squad now, and we don't, and we lose we end up the season with like 20 wins, and we're just like, damn, like how did this happen? Like I'll never forget the first time we got Derrick Rose, and we had Joakim Noah, Brandon Jennings. We had all of them. We're like, oh, we got a squad now. Nope.
No, we got a super team. Yo, when I saw that headline, I was like, yo, who told him to say that?
But no, at one point in that season, we were like 14-4. Like we were doing our thing. And then we just went on a crazy losing streak. We lost like maybe 12 straight and then ended up, not making the playoffs. But yeah, so Knicks fans, everybody, all 62 of y'all watching, we came a long way to be here. We came a long way. We deserve this. Like we've been through enough. We deserve this.
We've been through Jonathan Bender being signed. They low-key gassed me when they signed Jonathan Bender. I'm like, all right, let's see what he got. Let's see what's going on here. I trusted him. Let's see. Foolish.
None was worse than Jared Jeffries.
I'm cool with Jared Jeffries because he was holding it down during that brawl. We overpaid for him too, but he was holding it down during the brawl. He fought for the team. Then I was like, all right, it was a little bit disgraceful. They was out there wilding, but at least he had his teammates back, and I can't fault nobody for that.
I guess, yeah.
They Robinson flipped JR too. That was hilarious.
No, that was crazy. Yeah, Knicks used to be wild. NBA used to be wild.
Joshua Rivers saying Rose was getting cooked by Van Vliet. That had me nervous. I think in the first half, I think Van Vliet had like 17 points. He was out there killing initially. He was getting whatever he wanted for himself and for his teammates.
No, yeah. And mind you, while I was watching, I'm just like, yo, damn, like the Knicks really could have had him. Like he could have been playing for us doing all this, but
yeah, but he had a dumb foul at the end of halftime on IQ. I'm like, no, he was shooting. He was in the shooting motion.
Yeah, definitely shooting. Like they cheated us. Yeah. But it is what it is. That was a stupid.
He would have got the ball up in time if he wasn't fouled.
Yeah. And then they want to say they want to talk about the Suns game. Again, we just we're gonna turn it into 10. We spoke about it a little earlier. Even we're the ones who's on a win streak right now, but the pressure is on any team that goes against us in the Garden because they know they know it's gonna be a rough game for them. So it doesn't matter if they're the second seed in the West; they're coming into the Garden knowing that it's not gonna be an easy win. So the pressure's on them.
And that's coming from Big Task Athens. Shout out to you, bro. Drop a lot of comments on the videos. Definitely appreciate the support. Another thing people weren't saying too, I didn't hear too much, is the Raptors were coming in pretty hot. A lot of people thought that they were gonna fall out of playoff contention, but if I'm not mistaken, they came in off a 4-game winning streak or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, they have been winning. they're trying to inch their way up into that play-in game. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it ain't gonna happen with the way that the Wizards are playing.
Yeah, Brickbrook is out there balling.
They're on a 7-game win streak. Like they trying
Yeah.
to.
That's another team you don't want to face in the first round.
Just because Bradley could easily drop 50 on you.
Yeah, I mean Brickbrook can't shoot, but he stuffs the stat sheet.
Yeah, like he's gonna be the hustle player out there, grabbing all the boards and just harassing on the defensive end.
He's
and
stealing
then
his teammates' rebounds. Stop it.
Yeah, but he also gets offensive rebounds. That's stealing from us. Well, from like 5 offensive rebounds a game. That's him stealing from the people he's supposed to steal from.
Yeah, well, true.
And then Charlotte is still the AFC, and LaMelo is scheduled to come back soon. That's actually going to be interesting because he was killing.
Another thing about Washington though is they lost Avdija, broke his foot. A lot of Knicks fans wanted us to sign him. Was it? I think his ankle. You think he fractured his ankle technically?
Yeah, it was his ankle. But like the way that it went, like I hate seeing any player get injured. Like,
but they're saying he won't need surgery. I read that. He said he probably won't require surgery. He'll just need some rest. The hairline fracture. Yeah, boot.
All right, so that ain't too bad.
What were you saying about the Hornets again? My bad for cutting you off.
Right now, the Hornets they're still the AFC technically, like so they're in the play-in tourney, and LaMelo is scheduled to come back. Like his rust is good now. He's already starting practice again, so they're looking like they're gonna have their full squad ready for that play-in tournament. And they're a team that you don't know because LaMelo was balling.
Yeah. I mean, LaMelo was the front runner for Rookie of the Year until he went down. Now it looks like it's going to be Anthony Edwards. I mean, IQ kind of tapered off a little bit. He's starting to as Clyde says, percolate recently.
Yeah, and has been fluctuating, and his floater hasn't been dropping like that.
Yeah. But he's working on his layup package though. He had a pretty decent one last game. Right hand off the wrong foot. And one. That was an and one too. Yeah.
I like the fact that he's still finding ways to improve during his rookie season. Like crazy.
Facts. He had a nice little play off the pick and roll with Nerlens Noel, and then he found Reggie Bullock in motion for a nice corner three. It was a thing of beauty, bro.
Nice.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, he stopped his dribble, jump pass. You shouldn't be jump passing. I'm like, oh, that's why he did the jump pass. Reggie Bullock is wide open for the corner three. Schwat. I was like, oh, let's go.
He's quickly becoming a beast.
Yeah.
What
we did with quickly. What, talking about Brickbrook?
Yeah.
What are you saying about Brickbrook?
Everybody's saying
me. I'm here for, Rest Brick. I go with Brickbrook, but I understand Rest Brick.
But
Silver Reed Gray is your thoughts on free agency and Lonzo Ball. I feel like we could. I whipped around and the camera kind of threw me off. Lonzo Ball. I mean, he didn't have a good showing against us, but if he's gonna come in for a reasonable price, I'll take him. But I don't want to max Lonzo. I'll be fine with like 15 to 20 because that's right around what Fred VanVleet. That's right around what Brogdon got. Well, a little bit more. They want the higher end at like 2021. I'd come in a little bit below them because I think Brogdon and FVV had a much larger or longer track record as opposed to Lonzo. Like Lonzo has gotten better each season, but it hasn't been until like now that we're saying Lonzo is being a legitimate force in the league. So I would still like to have seen more from Lonzo before I go and give him more than like Brogdon got.
No, I agree. I mean, honestly, if there's a point guard we could go for in the offseason, go for Chris Paul. Hopefully he opt out of that contract and we just don't.
He might, bro. They were talking about it after what Drew Holiday got. Drew Holiday got what, like 41 mil?
No, yeah, I mean that's ridiculous though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if we can get him on a reasonable deal, if we can
He
get
opts out. It ain't gonna be reasonable.
it's gonna watch it be like that from the Hornets. What's his name?
The dude that we almost traded for, Batum.
No, Hayward.
Not. Yeah. They did like it to Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, he opted out of his like 34 mil. We're like, why would he do that? Ain't nobody giving him money. And then he gets a 4-year, 120 mil. We're like, what?
I thought you were talking about Batum's contract being an albatross at the end of it. That's because that might be what Chris Paul contract is at 38. I mean, I think the rules are he can't sign a contract past 38. There was like some stipulation. I think that's why Nene had an issue. Some red rule, but once you hit 38, you got to sign some kind of different contract. So he can only get extended from now till 36. I mean 38 if he decides to opt out. But I mean, it's an interesting move, but not at that price range.
No, but then again, I mean, look at us. We're nowhere near our salary cap. Like,
yeah,
you know.
True, but remember, we're probably going to have to extend Julius Randle. We're going to have to give RJ a new deal in about 2 years. You know, we got to build around this team now and for the future.
Yeah, but in 2 years, Chris Paul would be 38, and then that's when
he'd be off the books. Yep, he'd be off the books.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he opts out, I'd be willing to throw some money at him while we still have Randle on the contract for next year. We still have most of these players, really. And we had Chris Paul.
I think half the team gone. Bullock gone, Burks gone, Noel gone.
Most of the core.
Gibson. Well, yeah, most of the core. Yeah. We got Randle locked up. We got RJ locked up.
Like that ain't But no, and plus, if we can sign a Chris Paul, then other players are gonna want to play to New York, play for us, like how everybody fled to the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean, you're seeing players want to, at least from what they're saying, players want to play for New York now. Look, you saw what Zion said post game?
Yeah, that was
not saying that's going to happen, but you see how a young player views the Knicks and views Madison Square Garden. So imagine what players that he's got drafted with, players that he's come up with. You know, the Knicks, we still have a positive image on these players. Everybody like to act like, you know, New York ain't the Mecca. They were talking about, it's what did James Harden say? It's Los Angeles. Nah, New York is still the Mecca of basketball, point blank, period.
Yeah, like by far, New York is like everything happened in New York. People make their name in New York and then they go other places and then they're nobodies. And it's crazy because that's it. Like
Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, Jeremy Lin. No, but even players like Iman Shumpert. Remember, like when Shumpert first came to New York, like there was a lot of talk of him. He was in the papers and all that. Like, oh, who's this new rising star? And then
where he come out of Georgia Tech? I think he came out of Georgia Tech.
I thought he was in UConn.
No, he definitely wasn't UConn.
No. But all I know is that once he left, he was nobody. And then look at KP. Like I don't hear nothing about Kristaps anymore. I just don't. Like, granted, he'd be injured.
True. Oh, did you see the story about Mark Cuban saying, you know, Luka and KP aren't really best of friends, but they can play together?
I wouldn't be surprised.
What you call it? The chat is saying Miles Powell is back. From what I saw, we just brought him back to give him some extra money, and then we cut him real quick.
Zion spoke May 4th. Says Zion spoke.
Yeah, shout out to May 4th.
No, yeah, I feel like he did. He wanted to be drafted by the Knicks, especially seeing how we are now, knowing that chances are RJ's gonna make the playoffs before Zion.
Just also want to say shout out to the bro Anudi. He pulled up and said, "You're."
Anudi was good. It's been real.
It was good. How's everything with you, bro? Hope all is well. All is well. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things going on with the Knicks, and for the most part, everything's positive. I mean, Alec Burks, think about it. We're doing this short-handed. Like, we've already touched on Mitch, and I understand you're not a fan, but we're doing this without Alec Burks. And Alec Burks, before he had to sit out these last few games, he was being looked at as our closer. So
Yeah,
imagine how much better we'll be once Alec Burks is healthy and ready to join his teammates out there on the court.
Nah, yeah. I mean, because he was a closer. Like he was what Derrick Rose is doing now. He was doing for us first. Yeah, and then to think, well, we're also doing this without Kevin Knox. Like our secret weapon on the bench. You don't have to bring him off that bench. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yo, I'm so shocked Tibbs did not go to Kevin too often with Burks being out. It's still blowing my mind. I don't understand it, but you really can't question Tibbs when a team is performing like the way it is. You can't even argue with it. Like even if it's rotation sometimes, like I forgot what game it was. He tried to close the game with Derrick Rose and Alfred Payton, and I'm like, no, you got to put IQ back in to close this game, and then he put IQ in with like 3 minutes to go. But yeah, I really can't. Yeah, he know what he's doing. Can't really nitpick. He's been doing phenomenal. I think you shouted him out at the beginning of the show.
Nah, yeah, he's doing his thing. And I bet when all those players were fighting to get into the gym when Tibbs closed it down, I'm sure Kevin Knox was not a part of it. He was in his day off. Oh, I need one of these. I can't. Tibbs doing this thing. I feel like if he's not in the discussion for Coach of the Year, then it's just rigged or something. Because there's no other coach who would have taken the same exact squad and made us the number 4 seed in the East. There's no other coach that was able to do that, in my opinion.
We got a bunch of. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, chat. I don't know if y'all agree or not, but I don't think there's another coach who could take this squad and do what he did.
Yeah, we have a lot of potential players and coaches that can go home with awards this at the end of this season. Like you mentioned Tibbs with Coach of the Year. You even mentioned RJ could be potentially most improved. I don't know if he would, but I understand why you would say that. He's definitely been improved. And you also mentioned Julius Randle for most improved. Julius Randle, to me, should at least get a third place vote for MVP.
Yeah.
Every ballot, Julius Randle should be no lower than third. Point blank, period.
No, yeah, and I saw I think Bleacher Report released the current standings with Jokic being number 1, Embiid number 2, and then Giannis was number 3. I'm like, why? Why Giannis?
First of all, Embiid has missed a bunch of games, but I would understand if you want to put him above Julius. But Giannis missed Giannis is missing games too.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of games.
Yeah, and Julius Randle, I would argue, we don't have a better record, but Julius Randle is doing more with less. Like Giannis, the Bucks are a well-oiled machine, whether Giannis is in there or not. They can still go out there and compete with the best of them. We just mentioned they had Drew Holiday. We didn't mention, but they have Chris Middleton. They got a few players over there that can contribute.
Yeah, Brogdon, maybe?
Brogdon's over in Indy now.
Oh,
but Randle should be above Giannis, and it shouldn't be an argument. No lower than third. He'd be second in me personally, because Jokic has been wilding.
No, Jokic crazy, and
now Jokic got to step it up with Jamal Murray and his bad injury, the ACL.
That sucks, man. That sucks because Denver was a legitimate threat this season, especially with the Aaron Gordon. So that just sucks.
Yeah. They did all that to bring in Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon talking all this rah. This is the easiest I've ever had it. Blase. And then Jamal goes down. That's why you don't count your eggs before they hatch. That's what I was saying. I try to be quiet until the season over, and then I start talking crazy. That's when I start sending out the group texts. What were y'all saying at the beginning of the season? Yo, Thomas from the Facebook group. He's in there talking crazy about the Knicks. And I'm like, bro, why are you focused on us? You are a Celtics fan. We have a better record with less talent. You are focused on the wrong things right now, my guy. Get your house in order before you start commenting on what Knicks fans are doing. Bro, you better start praying we don't see you guys in the first round. You better avoid the 5th seed. Yeah, bro. Guy talking crazy. Shout out to George, into the next verse. Make sure you check out his channel. Dope content creator. Production is A1. A1. Shout out to George. Appreciate you pulling up. Drip More Bass Cuts is saying the future is so bright. That's a Snapple fact. That's a Snapple fact. And that's another reason why I say I feel better about this season than the last time we were in the playoffs, because we know we can sustain this. This is something we can build upon. This is just like the first step in our development.
All right. Yeah, it's about time.
That was a funny typo. Into the Knicks verse, tried to say thanks, brother, but he said thanks, brother. I thought he was going. George is funny. Oh, Kate Fowler mentioned Curry. Yes, Curry has been wilding. Yeah. Curry definitely. Yeah. Now I gotta readjust my list. Thanks for pointing that out, Fowler.
He's been wilding as of late. He's been wilding as of late.
I mean, Julius Randle has been balling as of late. I don't know if I read his numbers leading into today's game, but I think every single number is up over his season stats. He's averaging 30 points per game, 9 rebounds, 6.9 assists, and he's shooting 45%. And that was coming into this game over the 8-game winning streak. So he's definitely elevated his level of play, because I think he's averaging around 23 points for the season.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is Randle has been like this. With looking at the full season, Randle has been doing his thing the full season. Curry has been balling as of late, which is why they're the 9th seed.
That's another thing we got to factor in. Curry probably not going to get too many votes because they like hating on people because they're not a top 4 seed. They did it with Kobe for years, bro. They was out there giving Steve Nash his MVP titles.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah,
that's like any sense. Going out and giving Donovan Mitchell MVP, like, because he's the number 1 seed.
What happened with his ankle injury? Did he come back? Is he still out?
Oh, Mitchell?
Yeah, he turned his ankle, I think, at some point. A couple games ago.
I mean, honestly, I don't even pay attention to the Utah Jazz. I just know that
you like LeBron. Nobody picks Utah in 2K.
I don't sit here and watch a Jazz game.
The West Coast games really be difficult, bro.
No, I mean, certain West Coast games I watch.
I'm kind of used to West Coast games because I used to watch a lot of Kobe games, but now that there's really nobody on the West that really piques my interest, halfway through you find yourself nodding off. I got work in the morning. I gotta be up for work at 8.
Yeah. No, like I like to watch Denver. I like to watch Portland because I'm still a Melo fan. Like I like seeing him do good.
Edwin Burgos is asking, you guys believe we can make the Eastern Conference Finals with our style of play? Oh, you want to answer first? Go ahead, Inf. My fault.
I'm just saying, like, all right, realistically, let's see, because then we'd have to beat the Hawks and then Brooklyn, right?
What? Right. That's if if things were to end today, but the way teams are set up right now, we don't really know who we're gonna end up facing. But that's what I was saying. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, things can still fluctuate.
But if you want to make a determination just based off our style of play, I think we can compete with any of the teams beneath us if we stick to our brand of basketball. If we remain, we keep our defensive integrity out there. We're not giving up open 3-point looks. Luckily for us, a lot of teams haven't been able to knock down their 3-point looks. So if we can just, like we were talking about earlier on in the show, just keep beating them over the head, turn it into a dogfight, then I can definitely see us getting into the Eastern Conference final. But like I said, like earlier, the second round to me is looking more and more like a probability instead of just a possibility. I think we definitely will get into the second round. Things are going to change due to matchups, but I just can't see us with the momentum that we've had, with the teams that we've had to beat, because we're not beating teams that are just we're not beating the Pistons, we're not beating the Cavs, which is what people were saying earlier on in the season. We're beating teams that are playing for something. You feel me? Memphis is playing for something. The Raptors, they're playing for something. The Mavs, they're playing for something. These are teams that are trying to beat us, not only to knock us off our streak, but also for their own personal gain and trying to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto needed both of those wins, and and then even the Hawks, they knew that game was going to decide a seeding.
I didn't even mention the Hawks. Good one.
Yeah, like either they were going to win and they were going to remain the 4th seed, or they were going to lose and become the 5th seed. So
they lost Trey in the process.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Like that sucks for them. But no, I feel like we can compete with every team. I feel like obviously, I mean, I'm not even worried about the Bucks, to be honest. I feel like the only teams that are worrisome are fully healthy Brooklyn and fully healthy Philly, especially because, Embiid is wilding this season. Like they say that he's like the first center to average 30 since I think like Shaq or something like that. I'm like, yeah, he's wilding.
Yeah, if we can avoid, if one of those teams dropped to like maybe, who would we? They would have to, yeah. We'd have to go through if we get 4, we'd have to beat the 1 to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yeah. So regardless,
I think we could do it. I got faith in us. We almost beat the Nets, and we weren't playing that great. The Nets, if we bump into the Nets going into the playoffs are probably going to be rusty. Harden's out. KD, he's playing double dutch with games. He's either in or he's out. Kyrie, he's observing Ramadan. So coming into the playoffs, they might not be fully functional.
Yeah, they lost LaMarcus.
They just lost to the team we beat, right? The Raptors beat them coming into our game.
Yeah, Brooklyn, they're weird. They're a weird team, and it's just annoying because we haven't seen them full squad, So it's hard to tell how to really play them.
It's hard to game plan.
Kate Fowler is still going off about Curry, how Curry is carrying his team, and if it wasn't for Curry, they'd be at the bottom. I mean, listen, that's the same argument people make for Bradley Beal. Anybody saying Bradley Beal is going to be MVP? I ain't trying to hear that. Curry was on their team last year too, playing, and they were the worst team in the league. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, they also the Warriors they lost Wiseman too, which sucks. Yo, everybody on my fantasy team is going down, bro. Danny went down, Trey went down, Wiseman went down. I'm like, Mitchell went down. I'm like, just take my money at this point because there's no way, even if I make it to the playoffs, I'm going to win.
The struggle.
The struggle is facts, bro. What you call this? Christian Herman says the Heat are a problem for the Knicks. I think the Heat match up well, but I think the Heat, they're also dealing with their own issues. I think Bam is going to be a problem. We're definitely going to have to make sure, Taj doesn't see too many minutes with Bam on the court. I think Jimmy Butler's going to be another difficult matchup. Yeah, but I still think we can beat the Heat.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
As long as we could shut down their shooters, we should be okay.
Yeah. Barrow hasn't been much to write home about this season.
But wasn't the Heat the last team to beat us? If I'm not mistaken.
I'd have to look at our schedule. Let's see. Knicks schedule. Use the Google. I mean, that's crazy. We haven't lost in so long that you gotta actually go back a bunch of weeks. We haven't lost since I think like the first week of April. Damn, I think we've lost 2 games all month. I mean, if you go back even further, I mean, we won 9 in a row, but we've also run, I think, 8 of our last 10 or something like that. I'll check on the schedule. Or 8 of our last 9, because we had one loss in between another win.
Wait, Mitch is gone for the season?
Yeah, he's not coming back. At least, let me not act like I know this guy's medical records. It's highly unlikely he's coming back.
Highly unlikely.
Can't be on here talking with definitive statements like that because I don't really know his medical history.
Suns play
but
Brooklyn.
With that type of injury, it's quiet.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So what, the Suns play Brooklyn tomorrow? So that means that we'll be getting them on a back-to-back?
Oh, yeah. I might get to see win number 10. I hope, bro. What you call it? Shout out to Knicks Media. He was there. One of the YouTubers on here, Knicks Media. He was in attendance to see the win. That's fire.
Yeah,
he out here working too, because he had his vlog up like 5 hours after the game. I was like, damn, did you teleport home to edit? Shout out to you. Our last L came against the Celtics. We lost to the Celtics and the Nets back to back. Beat the Pistons and lost to. Yeah, it's been a while since we lost to the Heat. We lost to the Heat 329.
Gotcha. And they say Miami and Philly are our biggest competition right now, aside from Brooklyn. That was D. Grails. I mean, I'm not gonna call Miami our competition because right now they still gotta win the play-in tourney for depending on their standing right now. So until they do that to even qualify for a playoff, they're not a threat.
You got to get in before we address you.
Exactly, because right now, I mean, technically, I think they'd have to go against Washington, and the way they playing, I don't know. I don't know. Miami in the finals to miss in the playoffs without losing any key pieces in their team.
Yeah,
that's what's this play-in tourney thing.
Yeah, it'll be like the rules are kind of interesting, kind of weird, but I guess it's different. Trying something new, but I would have preferred a full 82 as opposed to a play-in, but whatever.
Yeah, and it's funny because the only like Mark Cuban, he was tight about it, like
crying.
He was hyped for it, and then once he saw that that's what Dallas was, he was like, "Oh no, I don't like this. We're the 7th seed. We should like nah." No, you made your decision. I want to see if the Lakers are fall into that play-in tourney because they're close.
Well, AD's back. They got they got Drummond. LeBron should pop back up eventually.
No, yeah, I saw
that high ankle sprain.
I saw something earlier. Oh yeah, LeBron could return next week. Bleacher reports earlier.
Yeah, but the East is gonna pick up.
Imagine you go hard to try to make the play-in tourney, and then the first team you go against is the Lakers, and they only got to win one game against you. I mean, like, come on,
that's disrespectful. I mean, but to be honest, I think that would be better than I think what happened to the Grizzlies. I think last year the Grizzlies ended up losing twice and got sent home. I'd rather lose once and call it a day. Don't beat me twice and then say I gotta still go home after that. Like.
No,
you're gonna tell me I gotta live with one loss, come back, and then live with another loss. Like, all right, yeah, now you can pack your bags.
No, yeah, the Grizzlies, they lost to Portland, right?
Who?
Yeah,
the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I think they lost twice.
Yeah, Portland took their playoff spot.
Yeah, Morant was tight, bro. Morant was complaining about that. He was doing the same. Well, I guess it's a little bit better for Morant to complain because Cuban voted for it. Cuban was cool with it, and now all of a sudden he want to be like, "Oh no, this is bad for basketball." Blah blah blah. No, this is bad for Dallas.
Yeah,
because y'all got a bunch of soft players on your team, and if you got to play one game, win or you lose, you guys might get punked. You saw how they was punking KP.
Nah, who?
I forgot. Chat. I forgot what player was it that punked KP. They say he's a New York native too.
I mean, KP soft.
OD soft.
Anyway, Lillard was a beast. I mean, but Lillard's a beast in general. Like, I feel like Lillard is just a beast.
Sonny STX is asking if Randall is a max player now. I mean, with this performance, whether I want to pay him max money, he's gonna get max money. So if we want to keep him, he's gonna cost. That's $36 million a year.
I mean,
Shout out to him and his family if he gets it, but
if he's gonna be averaging, 30 and 10, shooting 59%, yeah, like he's a max player. Let's go.
Shout out to the chat. They're saying the play was Mo Harkless that punked KP.
Oh, yo, these dudes be knowing everything.
Bro, chat be lit. That's the best part. That's the best part about YouTube, bro. You make your video and you teach them a thing or two, and then they comment and then teach you a thing or two. Synergy.
Word, and here I'm Ryan. Let's go. Knicks 2020, 2021 champs. We out here. We gonna defy the odds. Yeah.
I'm gonna give a little bit of time for that. So if anybody wants to clip it, they could clip that because I'm not gonna go that far.
Now, you know how
I pray.
Because do we even have a single champion on our team right now? Like somebody who's won a ring before?
Other than Tibbs, no.
Tibbs won a chip before? With who?
With Boston. He was on Doc Rivers' staff.
Part of that team.
Yeah, he was on Doc Rivers' staff.
That'd be crazy. So I'm seeing Derrick Rose win his first ring and it's for the Knicks. Like, yeah, that's
with Tibbs, right? That'd be crazy.
That would be the crazy underdog story. But I mean, have we played against like legitimate West teams? Because like just imagine if we were to make the finals, like, can we beat the Lakers in a 7-game series?
We beat the Lakers. We won, but I completely forget the Lakers were right. I'm not bugging. The Lakers were part of that. Like we've beaten these teams so long ago, I forget. Yeah, the Lakers were part of this win streak. Yeah. So I mean, granted, that's without LeBron and AD, but you know, we ran them off the court too. 111-96.
No, yeah, we beat.
Like if you look at this, we've been running teams off the court in a lot of these games. Well, I guess depends on what you want to call run off the court. I'll be reaching. Sometimes I say 12 points. You got ran off the court. No, end of game situations you might tack on 3 or 4 points here or there. Yeah,
you got an extra 3 or 4 fouls. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but now it's just crazy that the Lakers are the 5th seed. Yet when I think about the finals, the Lakers are there. Like I don't see any other team on the West beating them.
Clippers, especially with Rondo. They was trying. I was on Twitter and they tried to gas it, talking about the Clippers are the hottest team. Was it on Twitter? No, it was on Facebook. They were talking about that. You can follow the channel on Facebook as well. They were talking about the Los Angeles Clippers were the hottest team in the league, and I had to drop a Julius Randle gif or gif, however you say it, because I'm like, are you not watching the Knicks? How could a team that's undefeated and at that point it was 8 games not be the hottest team in the league? Especially with the competition that we're beating, and especially coming into the second half, the pundits were the ones saying we had one of the toughest schedules. So both can't be correct. You can't say we're 8-9-0 in this stretch, and we also have the toughest schedule, but yet we're not the hottest team in the league.
And what's crazy is nobody talks about the Clippers. Like, no, I don't see Stephen A. posting anything about the Clippers. You don't see nobody talking about the Clippers. It don't matter what. It don't matter that they're the 3rd seed, because one, they have Paul George on the team. That's why. Because it doesn't matter what he does. He could have 40
playoff P
a game. We know he does this in the regular season, so it's not impressive. We know what's going to happen in the playoffs. They're not a contender. They're not a threat. They're not. Ain't nobody talking about the Clippers. Like
I still think the Clippers could beat the Lakers though. They're probably the biggest threat to the Lakers. And the Lakers got to find their groove back too, because when you're going to introduce a lot of you're going to introduce Anthony Davis after you just introduced Andre Drummond, but they got 2 ADs over there. How are we going to refer to them? How they got to say their names in full? Damn. But they got 2. They got AD squared. They both have to integrate into the team, and then now they got to bring LeBron back.
No one's ever called Andre Drummond AD. I don't want to hear that. His name is Drummond. Everybody says,
You're right. I'm over here fronting. Ain't nobody calling Drummond AD.
I don't know. That's like when Cash Doll said that KD line, saying like, "Oh well, I call me K. Don't I'm the only KD." Like no one in Cash Doll's life has ever called her KD.
Yeah,
Like,
but
come on.
KD also weird for addressing that on Twitter. That like leave
Yeah.
that alone.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he was out of control. Out of
Yeah.
control. See what the chat is saying. It's pronounced Jif, like the peanut butter.
Oh, like Jiffy.
Yeah. What's the other one though? I prefer the other one. What's the name of that? Skippies. Yeah, I'm more of a Skippies kind of guy.
Skippy is a Skippy a squeeze.
Facts.
No,
Nobody.
I'm not worried about
the chat jump.
I'm not worried about
I'd rather media sleep on us. All they are good for is relaying the box score, and that's how you know they don't watch us. That's a simple fact. You see how Stephen A. Smith is all like everything is rah rah rah. Let's go Knicks. Like, bro, you was fronting on us. We don't need that fake energy. We good.
No, yeah. Shaq, he be talking nonsense. Because Shaq did say that the Knicks aren't back.
Oh, did he really say that? Shaq doesn't know the names of the players in the league. I'm shocked he still remembers the names of the teams with the way he be talking. He got too much going on in life. Got a lot of profitable businesses. That's why he's probably not sitting home watching basketball. He's probably managing whatever he's managing, and he's letting the real fans dedicate their time and energy. He should let the real fans continue to dedicate their time and energy to watching and investing in their team. He be bugging. They just give anybody a check over there at TNT now and say funny things. Because they don't really be analyzing basketball as much as they used to. It's just pretty much shock value over there.
Nah, yeah. The only time they actually talking basketball is when the girl's on. What's her name?
Candace Parker.
Yeah, when she's on, that's they talking basketball. When she's not on, they just talking nonsense.
It's just more of a chemistry kind of show.
It's
like a podcast. Say it again.
T-Mac, he's a Shaq is a casual. He's
super casual. Stephen A is a fraud. You know what's crazy? I used to really like Stephen A too. I went to the Stephen A Smith show back when they used to shoot it in Manhattan. I was walking around and they were giving out free tickets, and they're like, "You want to go to the Stephen A Smith show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the Stephen A Smith show." I grabbed the tickets. I was in high school, and I went to the show. It was dope. It was dope back then. He used to talk to you, like not you personally, but he used to talk to the crowd in between like tapings or commercial breaks. It was fire. That was back when they had Jim Rome is burning. That was back when ESPN was super lit, and they had like the red bars on the side with the names of the shows or the name of what was coming on, the topics. Good times, mid 2000s.
But yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. How long we been on? You start talking Knicks and the time just flies. An hour and 15 minutes. The fight is on too. The fight definitely started at 8. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. I definitely appreciate it. Inf, thank you for co-hosting. Appreciate you as well.
You already. It's been real, y'all.
Chat, also, if you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you smash that like button on the way out just to let us know that you're appreciating our content and you want more from us. So once again, I'm Quis, joined as always by my co-host Inf, and we're out.